So this chapter is just an introduction to economics, because economics is divided into micro and macro. So it's important to start with a simple introduction to what's the meaning of economics. And this is the definition of economics. Wes, since you are my friend and you are a student, could you help me to read the first paragraph?
Sure, sir. Economics. The study of how individuals and societies choose to use the scarce resources that nature and previous generations have provided.
Okay, so see here first, what's the meaning of scarce? Is limited. So we have limited resources. What are resources? Land, capital, and labor. Some of the resources are available from the nature. Some, for example, oil in the United Arab Emirates. And some resources are built by previous generations. For example, we have bridges, airports, roads, capital goods. So UAE spent lots of many years to build these resources. So today we will use all these resources to produce goods and services. So unfortunately, resources are limited or scarce, while our needs, our desires are increasingly so many, too many. So we need economics to help us how to use, how to choose these resources. So we have to make decisions. Just a simple example. I don't like to make it complicated, make it so easy. For example, my salary is 10,000 dirhams per month. So my resources, my income is so limited, but my desires are too many. So definitely I cannot fulfill my desires or needs within 10,000 dirhams. So I have to make decisions how to use this amount of money to fulfill my basic needs. So for example, since I love smoking, so I will cut a part of my income for smoking. Always the hates smoking, so he will not spend dirham to buy cigarettes. So in the end, we will use our limited resources in a certain way to reach maximum happiness, maximum benefits. This is economics. So it's related to make choices how to use these resources. Why do we study economics? There are three reasons. The first one, to learn a way of thinking. So if you study economics, you can analyze some problems according to economic principles. So here we will use three concepts: opportunity cost, marginalism, efficient markets. We will go into each one. So I'm still with Awais, opportunity cost.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Opportunity cost. The best alternative that we forgo or give up when we make a choice or a decision.
Okay. What's the meaning in Arabic to give up? To give up, to forgo. Sorry?
الاستسلام.
You are very close. You are very... Sorry?
يترك.
Yeah, well done. What's your name?
Rashid.
Rashid, well done. Yeah, this is to give up. For example, I'm working in Skyline, but I will resign. I will give up this job because I got a better offer. So to give up an option. Okay, so what is the opportunity cost in Arabic? According to my dictionary, تكلفة الفرصة البديلة. Opportunity cost, تكلفة الفرصة البديلة. So for example, there is an example. Assume Uwais got an offer to work in Carrefour for 10,000 dirhams. So this is the best alternative, but he gives up this option because he likes to set up a business to produce tomatoes. So there is a hidden cost to produce tomatoes. What is the hidden cost? It's called the opportunity cost, which is the cost of or the best alternative that he sacrificed, which is 10,000. So when you make a waste, when you make a list of costs of producing tomatoes, add an opportunity cost for producing tomatoes, which is the best alternative that you gave up, which is 10,000 dirhams. So when he manage his farm, nobody will give him a salary. So we have to estimate a salary for Uwais to manage his farm equal to the best alternative, which is 10,000 dirhams he may earn if he joined Carrefour. Hopefully you got a view about opportunity cost, and definitely we will come back to this term later, maybe in the coming chapters. Also, marginalism, القيمة الحدية أو القيمة النهائية. Let me ask Rashid, could you read this for me?
The process of analyzing the additional or incremental cost of benefits arising from a choice or decision.
Okay, see here, in very easy way. For example, Uwais decided to produce additional kilo of tomatoes. What is the marginal cost? What's the meaning of marginal cost? The cost of last kilo. How to calculate the cost of the last kilo? As follows. For example, he decided to produce extra 100 kilos, and total cost increased by 400 dirhams. So for producing additional 100 kilos, he incurs an additional cost of 400. So 400 divided by 100 equals 4 dirhams. What's the meaning of 4? That 4 dirhams is the cost of the last kilo. The cost of the last kilo. So what should I do with marginal value, marginal cost? So always we compare the marginal cost of this additional kilo with the price per kilo. So if the price per kilo is 5 dirhams, so it's worth to produce this kilo. Why? Because he will gain a profit of 1 dirham. The price 5 dirhams, the cost 4 dirham, so he will gain a profit of 1 dirham. But if the marginal cost, the cost of last kilo is 7 dirhams, and the current market price per kilo 5 dirhams, so he will not go ahead and produce that kilo. So this is the benefit of analyzing marginalism. Also, we need to understand what is the efficient market, السوق الكفؤة. Keep in your mind, some markets are efficient, other markets are inefficient, opposite of efficient. Rashid?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please help me.
A market in which profit opportunities are eliminated almost instantaneously, immediately.
Okay, so what's the efficient market? A market in which profit opportunities are eliminated immediately. So, for example, Uwais, who produces tomatoes, earning good profit, earning good money. So I will call tomatoes market as efficient if it is so easy for other investors to enter into the market and produce tomatoes. So in this case, because they saw Uwais earning good money, so other investors who produce other fruits and vegetables will enter into the market and start producing tomatoes. As production of tomatoes increases, the price per kilo of tomatoes will decrease, and in the end, Uwais will not earn abnormal profit. He will earn moderate profit. So in this case, I will call tomatoes market as efficient. Let's see another example. Ittisalat is earning good money. Ittisalat got high profit. Is it easy for other investors to enter telecommunication market in the UAE? The answer no. Why? Because there is a monopoly, احتكار, in this market, and Ittisalat authority or telecommunication authority doesn't allow a third or fourth investors to enter into telecommunication market. So Ittisalat will enjoy getting high profits for the coming years. In this case, I will not call telecommunication market as efficient. Why? Because a firm such as Ittisalat earns high profit for a long period of time. So see here, the profit opportunities are not eliminated. So what is the conclusion? We call efficient market if there is no abnormal profit, moderate profit. What is abnormal profit? What is moderate profit? We need to refer to opportunity cost again, and this is in the coming chapters.
Sir? I have a question.
Are you always?
Yes, yes.
If your question is nice, I will give you extra 5 marks. If your question is not interesting, I will deduct 5 marks from your grade.
Okay, sir, I'll go ahead and take my chances.
Yes. Okay.
He's a gambler.
Yes.
By your definition of an efficient market, like,
Yes.
wouldn't that mean that an efficient market is good for the consumer and bad for like existing business owners? For business owners, it would be good to have a monopoly, but for consumers, it would be bad because the monopoly, the organization that has the monopoly would actually like price their products as they want, and the consumers would have no choice.
So
is that like correct, or is there something else to it?
Always, you made other students confused. So could you summarize your question in one sentence?
Sir, I just want to clear my understanding about the efficient market. It would be good for consumers because they would get new options and the cost would drive down. And it would be bad for existing business owners because they wouldn't be earning huge profits than if they would if it were a monopoly in their case, right?
So always you lost 5 marks. I told you to give me one sentence. You gave me 2 paragraphs.
I don't know how to summarize it.
Okay, so what is the question of Awais? According to which view, customers or producers, we judge this market whether it is efficient or not? The answer is quite easy. According to customer views, according to society views, we can judge this market is good or not. So again, I don't like to waste more time on this. So for vegetable markets, for supermarkets, there is no abnormal profit. So if you check the market the price per can of Coca-Cola in a supermarket is fixed. The supermarket cannot charge additional price. So in the end, there is no abnormal high profit for the supermarket. So customers has no complaint against supermarket or tomatoes market. But if we go to other markets for other goods, which include higher monopoly or monopolistic power, monopolistic power, these companies earns higher profit. Definitely producers will enjoy, will feel happy, but customers or the society will judge this market is not efficient. See here, the whole microeconomics about different kind of markets. So we will start with tomatoes market, which is called perfect competition. And then we will go to a market with a little monopolistic power, such as toothpaste, which is called monopolistic competition. And then we will go to market with higher level of monopoly, such as telecommunication market, which is called oligopoly. And then we will go to a market with full power of monopoly, such as electricity market. So see here, we have 4 kinds of markets. But which one theoretically, purely efficient? Tomatoes market or perfect competition market, because producers cannot earn abnormal profit. Okay. Also, economics can help us to understand the society. So here there's industrial revolution, الثورة الصناعية. But for example, to understand the effect of coronavirus pandemic on the level of economic activity, it's useful for you to understand the economic situation in the UAE. So economics will help us to understand our society, UAE society. So why the customers are not willing to purchase as before? Because the negative effect of coronavirus pandemic on the level of economic activity in the whole UAE. Also, there is a last benefit of studying economics, to be an informed citizen. So when you study economics, you will understand what's going on around you. So you will be educated. So you will understand what is the right time to invest your money, in which channel you should invest. So always regarding to your question, if you ask me as an economist, when you try to invest your money, try to produce something with sort of monopolistic power. Try to distinguish your product. So in this case, you can gain a good profit, higher profit. But if you invest your money in a way, there are thousands of producers, such as selling tomatoes. There are thousands of producers selling tomatoes. Don't expect you will earn good profit. Maybe you will earn a profit just sufficient to cover your small salary. But when you produce something special, you can earn good profit. Microeconomics can be divided into two branches, microeconomics and macroeconomics. Micro is small, macro is big. So here, trees and forest. So micro is related with this tree, while macroeconomics is related with the whole forest. So micro small, macro big. شيخة سعيد كيف حالك؟
الحمد لله أستاذ.
Could you read this microeconomics?
Yes. Okay, microeconomics. The branch of economics that examines the functioning of individual industries and the behavior of individual decision-making units, that is, firms and households.
Okay, so see here, first, industry. What's the meaning of industry? A group of producers producing a single product. For example, we say individual industry, a certain industry, such as telecommunication industry or telecommunication market. In the context of microeconomics, I will say tomatoes industry or tomatoes market. So let me use tomatoes market. So microeconomics is related with an individual or one product, such as tomatoes. So in microeconomics, we will analyze the behavior of a household. So Salim is a customer and is willing to buy tomatoes. So he is a customer. And Owais is a producer of tomatoes. He owns a business or a firm or a farm. And then we will expand our analysis, a group of customers who are willing to buy tomatoes in the UAE, a group of producers or sellers of tomatoes in the UAE. The interaction, the fighting between customers and the producers will determine the price per kilo of tomatoes. So this is microeconomics. So what is microeconomics? It is the price theory, how the price for a single product is determined in the market. So we will analyze individual decision-making units. So a producer, such as Owais, has to make decisions about how many kilos of tomatoes should be produced to maximize his profit. A household such as Salim has to make a decision about how many kilos of tomatoes should be purchased to get maximum happiness. So this is in simple way microeconomics. I will not, you know, I can spend an hour explaining microeconomics, but that's enough. So let's go with Sheikh Saeed, macroeconomics.
Okay, the branch of economics that examines the economic behavior of aggregates, income, employment, output, and so on a national scale.
Okay, so macroeconomics deals with aggregates. What's the meaning of aggregates? The sum. For example, here, Salim purchased 5 kilos of tomatoes worth of 25 dirhams. But here we will talk about aggregate consumptions, spending by all households in a year to buy different goods and services. See here the difference? So as you are taking an airplane and go far away in the sky and look at the whole UAE. So see here, trees, individual trees related to microeconomics. The whole forest is related to macroeconomics. So macroeconomics is somehow related to politics. Why? Because we deal with economic problems facing the whole country. For example, when I say coronavirus pandemics affects negatively the level of economic activity, so I'm talking about macroeconomics. When I say the whole country, because of the pandemic, enters into recession, the unemployment increased, and we started to produce less output, so we are talking about macroeconomics. And try to watch the video, which I mentioned. I ran the video in the beginning, which will give you more explanation about the difference between micro and macro. In Arabic, what's the meaning of microeconomics? Please help me. Rashid, microeconomics in Arabic.
مايكرو اقتصاد الجزئي.
Well done. Macroeconomics, MA. What's the meaning of macroeconomics in Arabic?
اقتصاد دقيق.
No.
Oh.
Macro is big. Micro is small. So macro is big. So what is macroeconomics in Arabic? الاقتصاد الكلي. الاقتصاد الكلي. Okay. So here more details about the difference between micro and macro. So microeconomics deals with an industry such as telecommunication, a firm such as Do, the price per kilo of tomatoes, the profit earned by اتصالات. How many workers work in اتصالات? But in macroeconomics, I'm talking about the whole country. What is the aggregate output? What is the gross domestic product? Gross domestic product, الناتج المحلي الإجمالي, or aggregate output. What is the level of economic growth for the whole country? What is the inflation rate? What is inflation rate? An increase an overall price level. What is overall price level? It is an index reflects the prices of different goods and services. Here we deal with national income, income earned by all citizens in a country within a year. We talk about full level of unemployment or unemployment rate, part of labor force which is unemployed. So here we talk about the whole country. So in very simple way, microeconomics deals with a product such as tomatoes. Macroeconomics deals with the whole country. It's quite easy. So again, we can divide economics into two methods. We say positive or objective economics, الاقتصاد الموضوعي, and normative or subjective economics, الاقتصاد المعياري. So عالية, positive or objective economics.
An approach to economics that seeks to understand behavior and the operation of systems without making judgments. It describes what exists and how it works.
Okay, so most economic theories related to objective or positive economics. It describes facts without judgment, whether you like or doesn't like. For example, if the price per kilo of tomatoes increases, the quantity demanded in the market will decrease. There is negative relationship between quantity demanded and its price. So it is objective, whether you like the result or you doesn't like. So most of economic theories related to objective economics. So I got PhD degree because of objective economics, because of dealing with economic theories. And now, when you say you are PhD holder, you should be able to test and develop economic theories. But there is another branch of economics which is called normative or subjective economics, as I said in Arabic, الاقتصاد المعياري, with عالية. عالية.
An approach to economics that analyzes outcomes of economic behavior, evaluates them as good or bad, and may prescribe courses of action, also called policy economics.
Okay, so what is subjective economics? It is an opinion. It is an opinion. It is not a result. So there is no evidence to prove my opinion. For example, Salim suggests coronavirus test should be free. Should be free. Why? Because I think it will lead to a good result. People will be encouraged to take the coronavirus test more frequently, and that will help us to control the coronavirus pandemic. So this is an opinion. This is an opinion. I suggest the government should increase value-added taxes from 5% to 10%. Why? Because the government will have control over their budget and they can spend more money to build modern infrastructure. So this is an opinion. Sometimes you agree or disagree with me. So, but do you know, both sides, we need them. We need them. For example, the Central Bank of the United Arab Emirates appoints experts from around the globe to give advice about sensitive issues related to the monetary policy. Is it a time to increase or decrease the interest rate by the central bank? So this is an opinion. So sometimes we need experts to give an opinion. So I explained what is the meaning of positive and normative, and I gave examples.